Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Reddit Raisins. Sorry for not posting a video yesterday. I have been busy recently. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Let's continue with the video. I'm a teen who's had a death experience due to anaphylactic shock and been resuscitated. Ama. Hey all, my name is Bear and 2 years ago, I went through anaphylactic shock caused by a hospital duck-up that resulted in my heart and lungs ceasing to function for a small amount of time. I was resuscitated, and I now struggle with PTSD caused by the incident, though I've been making a lot of progress with trauma work. I'll describe what happened in full below. There will be a TL, doctor at the end. Ama. Trigger warning. I will describe the incident in full detail. Discretion is advised. If you worry it may trigger you**. I have very severe asthma, which is caused by incredibly intense allergies, primarily to dust mites, though there are several others. I began an allergy treatment in which I was injected with doses of my allergens, starting small and increasing every few weeks. It was to build up my resistance and to therefore help my allergy-induced asthma. I went in as usual one Wednesday and received my allergy shots. I soon started feeling itchy, a normal symptom, but this was more intense than usual. It was a tingling sensation that spread rapidly from my arm to my face and stomach, and it was getting intense. I went to the bathroom and splashed my face with water in the hopes that that may help the itching. All of a sudden, it was like every cell in my body was on fire. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I felt like my entire body was exploding. I threw up in the sink, and I couldn't breathe. It was as if there was a rock in my lungs weighing them down. I was barely able to stand. Yellow and black spots danced across my vision, and I passed out briefly on the floor. I was able to open the door and stumble down the hall, gasping. I made it to where my mom was sitting and managed to say help, I can't breathe, before passing out at her feet. When I next came to consciousness I was in a chair in the room where they administer the shots, with an EpiPen being plunged into my leg. The pain was unbearable and downright insane. I had vomited several times and was barely breathing. None of the nurses were trained for this, and they didn't administer the EpiPen right. They pulled it out of my leg before the medicine could enter my body and take effect. I passed out again. I came to consciousness a few minutes later, just as two folks from the ER arrived, shocked at what was going on. My mom was screaming at the nurses to do SOMETHING*, but many were just standing there in shock. I later learned that the nurses called a narcissist, which should call if there's a minor emergency but nothing threatening. I was a code blue, dead or nearly there. The people from the ER weren't prepared to handle the emergency, and the thing that saved my life was that the chair I was on had wheels. I was rushed through the hospital, down a floor, and into the ER where the room was immediately rushed with panicked doctors. I was in an unfathomable amount of pain. It was like being stabbed everywhere, all at once, and my lungs were on fire. I couldn't breathe. My mom was holding my hand and talking to me, begging me to stay with her, but my heart was slowing down. I was legally dead for a small amount of time, I was later told. I won't describe my experience while dead here. Some people prefer not to know what I experienced due to their beliefs, but if you'd like to ask me about it in the comments I will gladly tell you. Anyways, I woke up covered in tubes. They were able to save my life by resuscitating me. I was informed that I'd just experienced extreme anaphylactic shock and had been legally dead for a small amount of time. They nearly had to perform a tracheotomy, but thankfully for me, that didn't end up happening. 2 years later my mom and I still struggle with PTSD, though I'm making a lot of progress mentally. Ama. TL. Doctor, I went through severe anaphylactic shock due to a hospital duck-up. I was legally dead and was resuscitated, nearly having to receive a tracheotomy. I now struggle with PTSD from the incident. Edit #1. DMs are open. If you'd like to ask me more, please, don't be creepy and be respectful about my experience, but I'm happy to talk one-on-one. Edit #2. For everyone recommending me books, documentaries, websites, etc. Please DM them to me so they don't get lost in the comments. I've answered a lot of questions and I may not remember. I'd really like to know what you experienced in the time you were considered deceased. Thanks. The light at the end of the tunnel is very real. I felt like I was climbing a stairway away from my body. The pain faded, and there was this warmth that enveloped me, like a hug. I felt so light. You never realize how heavy the body is until you lose it. I saw a tunnel, and at the end a light that I was being drawn towards. And when I emerged to the other side, it was like the universe had exploded in front of me. Supernova. There was so much *joy*. It was like my spirit was bursting with joy. I was suspended weightlessly in this net of light, and it was as if I could feel the entire universe before me. There was just this massive net of bright, pulsing energy that hummed with power. There are no human words to describe it except for love in the purest of forms. Consciousness at its root. But there was also a sense that I didn't belong there. My spirit was screaming to go back down and come to my mom. I never was able to tell her I loved her while I was dying, and I knew that I needed to do that. I slowly descended back into my body and the light faded. The pain came back, and I passed out quickly, but it felt like a million years of being suspended in that net of love. This kind of makes sense with what I've heard in articles and shit. Your brain dumps a duck ton of dopamine, and you feel euphoric. Tunnel bit is fairly consistent with other people's experiences. Also during cardiac arrest you get defibrillated with about 360 joules of electricity, plus a shit ton of epinephrine pumped into you. So it makes sense. I don't believe I was defibrillated. Do you mind if I ask your views on religion? I'm wondering if there is some sort of subliminal thoughts running through your brain in its final moments. Well, I'm born and raised Jewish, but I follow a much more spiritual path, which was strengthened after this experience. I believe that there is a divine consciousness that is made up of all the energy in the world, like I saw when I died. In a sense, we are God and God is us. Did you guys take action against the hospital? The end, we didn't sue. It's a little complicated, and no one really told me anything, which is annoying. Because I'm the victim in question here, and even though I'm a teen I deserve to know, but no, we didn't sue them. Yeah, that's definitely frustrating. Guess they didn't tell you anything, since it could have been used against them, but that's a big duck up. Glad you're okay now though. I'm baffled that those nurses didn't know how to use an EpiPen. I mean, it's designed to be used by people with no training at all. In the allergy clinic, no less. In a clinic where they give people the substances they are allergic to. I know, right? They were so underprepared. It was a mess. I've read what you said about seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and being in a net of love in response to other comments. This is kind of a dumb question, but did you think the pain was worth being there? Like, it's clearly horrible and traumatic, but I think I'd give a lot to experience that. In what ways has it affected your life afterwards? Did you experience any changes with your beliefs or long-term goals after dying so young? How do you feel towards the nurses who nearly ended your life for good? Oh, absolutely. It changed me for the better. It's given me a certain lens to look at the world that many people never get to experience. It has set me on a spiritual path that has really helped me. So yes, the death experience itself was actually quite positive. In a way, I understand what life means in a way that many people never will in this lifetime. Because death really is a form of enlightenment. I know that now. As for the nurses, I forgive them. It was hard initially, but I do. I know all of them personally, and though I don't see them anymore, I forgive them and hope that they can forgive themselves. My mom, not so much. She can barely talk about them without shaking. and can't go into that hospital. She sees them as the people who took her child's life, and I don't think she'll ever forgive them. Not a question, but Jesus, that's a rookie mistake from nurses. Not to be in bad hole, everyone can make mistakes, in particular in such a situation, but they are supposed to be ready exactly for stuff like this. Oh totally. It was shocking. Do you fear dying anymore? I wouldn't say I fear dying itself, but the real trauma was being taken from all the people that I love. I fear losing them again, rather than dying itself. Good question. The whole light thing. What do you think happens after? From what it seemed like, if you had actually passed, do you think that would be it? Or would it be like a heaven-hell type of situation? One of the best questions so far. I think I would have just been suspended there in bliss until it was time for me to find a new body. I believe in reincarnation. It sounds a little like you entered the Brahma realm that Buddha talked about. I believe so. Scientifically speaking, he wasn't really dead as his brain was still alive. In situations like this, a lot of chemicals are released which may cause hallucinations. It's also been found that those hallucinations are inconsistent, subjective, and often based on individual beliefs. Therefore, I think it's safe to say he would experience hallucinations until his brain died. Yes, this explanation is the one that makes sense to me the most, honestly. Might as well take DMT and go through the same experience. It's all chemicals. Oh my god. This gave me chills. I wish I had the patience to write my story as well, but goddamn, I'm lazy as F and so tired. But TL/DR, I also died once when I was a kid, and the strangest thing is that I don't remember. It didn't alter my beliefs, my behavior, no trauma, anything. I was dead, then resurrected. But I do remember a dream I've had once due to a lot of stress/anxiety/depression that I was going on a couple years ago, and I remember seeing that same description as light in the end of the tunnel, and I remember I felt sad, but not for me, for my mother, father, and siblings. I felt like I should have done more, said I love them, make them proud, give them the life they deserve to have. But it was all too late, it was all in vain. And as I got closer and closer, I started feeling lonely, anxious, sad, and I started crying and screaming, please don't, wait, no. And suddenly woke up to my mother's arms, crying and screaming. It was terrifying. I felt it so vividly. After that night, some shit changed in my life. Thus I'm not depressed anymore. I mean, have some down days here and there like everyone else. I'm first year of college doing what I like, have a couple good friends, have been having regular sex with my soon-to-be girlfriend. Fingers crossed. My dad's rich now, businessman. My mother's healthy, she won depression and alcoholism. I mean, I believe I'm on the right track. That's all I wanted to share, but man, your story is nuts. Hey, thanks for sharing. Wow. Gotta say, that's probably the longest TL doctor I've seen thus far, but that's quite a story. I'm so sorry you went through that, but hey, you're here right now, and I'm proud of you for getting here. Here's to your good health and your mother's, your father's success, and everything good in life. Wishing you the best. Thank you. You too. People in Reddit are so adorable. This made my day. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe and press the bell button for notifications when I post. These videos take a lot of time to make because this is not made by bots. It is crafted by me, personally. See you in my next video. Take care and stay safe.